Tossing up three-pointers, LA is the place to be, and introducing the job of the week. Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business TLDR in your ear, powered by 30 years of been there, done that, and brought to you by No Disc, helping music, technology, and finance companies navigate the music industry, and partnered with Digital Music News. It's November 3rd, 2025. I'm Lars Murray in NYC, but heading to LA. It's Monday, where we talk about what happened over the weekend and what is on deck for this week. Over the weekend, well, thanks everybody, first of all, for making last week our all-time most downloaded week since we launched the podcast, which is true a lot of weeks as we keep growing, but last week was pretty special. So thanks to everybody who showed up again and showed up for the first time. It makes it all worthwhile. One of the other things that makes this whole thing worthwhile is when one of your takes plays out the way you suspected it would. That's what happened with Udio, which inked a landmark deal with Universal Music Group last week. Our prediction was that moving from an open platform to a walled garden might prove a little problematic for Udio, and boy did it. As soon as Udio cut off users' ability to download their creations per the deal, users became, shall we say, a little bit angry about losing access to songs they thought they owned. Digital Music News was on top of this last week and over the weekend, and there's a link in the show notes. Udio has decided to give users a 48-hour window to download all their stuff and presumably go. It's not clear whether UMG is cool with this brief amnesty. It's also not clear whether it will appease Udio's active user base, and it's also unclear whether Udio CEO Andrew Sanchez saw this coming based on his statement. It sure doesn't look like it. I guess someone in the generative AI music space had to go first and risk falling into the booby traps inherent in going legit. But going from an open to a walled garden was a pretty obvious booby trap if you've been there before. And now that super mega pothole is marked with traffic cones, police tape, flashing yellow lights, and flares for the other AI services when they do deals with the rights holders. As we said last week, your move, Suno. Also on Friday, over at Billboard, Glen Peoples wrote about the shift in sentiment over at Barclays Bank on how much AI will affect the mainstream music business. Concurrent with the announcement of the Udio deal, Barclays decided that AI will actually have a pretty big effect on the music industry after all. It's unclear whether they were anticipating or unaware of the Udio deal when they posted their report back on Tuesday. Glen's headline posed the "Will AI be good or bad for the labels?" binary. I'm going to go way out on a limb and say the answer is, well, probably somewhere in the middle. One thing is for sure, as Glen points out, it's going to be a while before we really know. And one reason it's going to be a while is that Irving Azoff has entered the chat. He is, of course, for all you noobs, probably the most enormously influential and, shall we just say it, powerful music execs of the last several decades, and one of the many hats he wears is as one of the founders of the Music Artist Coalition, founded in 2019 to advocate for artists in situations just like this. We've noted many times before, it's one thing for a label to do a deal with a tech company. It's another thing entirely for any of the benefits of that deal to pass through to artists and songwriters, and that's where Irving comes in. He tossed up a three-pointer, so to speak, calling for fair compensation, artist consent, and deal and data clarity. It's a nifty complement to the AI three-pointer Benji Rogers tossed up here on Unlimited Supply 2 Fridays ago. Ashley King has the full rundown of Irving's statement at Digital Music News. Another thing we've been reporting on for a long time is the rift between HYBE and its K-pop superstars NewJeans, who attempted to sue their way off of HYBE's ADOR subsidiary, and on Friday lost the case. Rachel Scharf covered it over at Billboard. There's more than 3 points to this, but I'll try. First, HYBE called the cops on ADOR CEO Min Hee-jin for trying to abscond with NewJeans. Second, NewJeans sided with Min and sued to get out of their deal. And third, HYBE won the court case. Where it goes from here is a classic music industry rift tale. The label won the lawsuit, but will NewJeans actually deliver any more music? And will NewJeans be able to figure out a working agreement with the label after it canned their key exec? It sure would help NewJeans to have a forceful advocate, somebody like maybe Irving Azoff. As with the AI issue, it's sure to be a while before we find out what happens here. Looking at the week ahead, well, LA is the place to be, and we will be there. Billboard's Live Music Summit starts today in LA. Also in LA today, the Music Managers Forum LA Summit. Music Tectonics starts tomorrow in Santa Monica. You can still walk up if you're in town. Congrats to Dmitri Vietze and the Rock, Paper, Scissors crowd for what they announced was a record attendance. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there and talking about CreateBase, RoyFi, Hangout FM, and of course, Unlimited Supply. And I may have a couple of new things up my sleeve as well. If you want to grind an axe, I'm always looking for more learned takes on just about every issue we discuss here. So don't be shy and hit me up. And earnings season hits full swing this week. Here's the earnings roundup. Tomorrow we've got two big ones, Live Nation and Spotify, and also Reservoir. And on Wednesday, it's HYBE's big K-pop rival, SM Entertainment. And awards season kicks off this week. Friday, Grammy nominations will be announced, and on Saturday, it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony for those of you who care. There's been a lot of churn in the industry this year, and we want to do our part to help hook up the right people with the right opportunities. So we're introducing a new feature this week. Resisting all attempts to come up with a clever name for it, we're just going to call it the Job of the Week. And it's supplied by self-identified super friend of the pod, Master Headhunter and Master Connector Tom Truitt of Turnkey ZRG. Tom runs the music practice at Turnkey, and he places executives in amazing jobs throughout the entire industry. This week's featured job comes from one of Tom's favorite clients, LA-based Position Music. It's for Senior Director of Marketing. If you're not familiar with Position Music, it's a 25-year-old company that includes a robust sync licensing business, a publisher, and a label all in one. CEO Tyler Bacon and President Mark Chipello are looking for a seasoned marketing executive to be a key strategic leader within the company, driving the creative vision, planning, and execution of marketing initiatives for their frontline roster of recording artists. If you're interested or know somebody who might be right, there's a link in the show notes, and let them know you heard about it right here. We'll generally be running the Job of the Week on Friday, so be sure to check in this coming Finance Friday when we'll have another one featured. And a few happy birthdays over the weekend and today. Happy birthday to the industry's top unrestricted free agent, Jessica Messier, late of TikTok. And also old friends Larry Mattera of Sound Insights and Sound Management, Dave Bell of Epic Records, John O'Toole over at the AI startup Faye, and Eric Molk of True Tone Media. Damn, that's an impressive group. Support for the Unlimited Supply podcast is provided by RoyFi. If you're a label, distributor, or publisher, and you want to take advantage of other people's money and technology to provide advances, let's have a chat at Music Tectonics. And by Hangout.fm. Hangout by Turntable Labs, Inc. is the new social listening platform where users connect, discover new music, and play over 100 million songs with their friends and family. If you like what you hear, please hit that follow button wherever you get your pods. I live for your praise and encouragement, but it really helps if you share that praise as a rating and or a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify, and tell a friend or three. Links are in the show notes, but you can also visit unlimitedsupplypod.com to sign up for our newsletter, to tell us what you think about the show, to suggest feature ideas, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to call us out on our dubious assertions, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict means no interest.